throughout the city of Milwaukee, West Allis, West Milwaukee, Cudahy, and South Milwaukee. All of those school districts are experiencing intense poverty. Children in Milwaukee, 1 in 2 children served by the, or 1 in 2 people served by the Hunger Task Force as a child. 1 in 4 children in Milwaukee wakes up in poverty, and that's probably something that's not news to most of you. We have been working since January to come up with a plan to make sure that we can open up more than 300 summer meal sites. And thanks to Kohl's department stores, yay, everyone in purple. We're serving up supper as well. People don't realize it, but a lot of the summer meal programs that happen throughout our nation are only open for 4 or 6 or 8 weeks, but we know that summer lasts for 12 weeks. And because of Kohl's, we're going to be able to keep our programs open for 12 weeks, which means that our children won't be relying on soup kitchens or going hungry in the month of August. And that's really significant. Kohl's is also funding supper, and our federal programs do fund breakfast and lunch, but they don't fund the supper meal. And dinner is really important to our children. Having a sack lunch in the middle of the day is great, but if that's the only meal that you're going to have for the rest of the day, that's not so great. And so together, all of us are advocates for children. We're going to do great work today, and we are so lucky to have amongst us, as well as our volunteers and advocates, representatives of the federal government who come from Washington and Chicago. They're part of the United States Department of Agriculture. The USDA is responsible for all of the federal meal programs: school breakfast, school lunch, the food stamp program, the summer meals program, the child and adult care food program, and a lot of the commodities that we distribute here at Hunger Task Force to low-income people. And so with us today is the Undersecretary of the Department of Agriculture, Kevin Concannon. I'd like to introduce Kevin.
Thank you very much, Sherrie. It's a great honor and a privilege for me to be here today. I was here last year, not on opening day, but visit some of the summer feeding sites that the Hunger Task Force has partnered up across the city here. You know, as I mentioned earlier to several of the television stations that are here, and many of you know this, I'm sure, in America, the time of year at which a child is most likely to suffer food insecurity or to go hungry is the summertime. And the major reason for that is schools are out. Each day across the country, public and private schools serve about 32 million children in the National School Lunch Program. And about 21 million of that number, literally more than 2/3, receive a free or reduced price lunch based on their family income. And schools are very mindful of this. They see these children day in, day out, and want to make sure that they have access to healthy foods each day. So the summertime when schools are closed, it's really important for us to work with the schools that have summer programs, but with the Boys and Girls Clubs, with the faith-based organizations like the Salvation Army, with other groups to make sure that kids have access to healthy food. So it's really an important program for us at the USDA, but it cannot be done without all of you. And without the support and organization of the Hunger Task Force in this part of the country, and the wonderful support they receive that Sherrie mentioned from Kohl, helps make it possible to meet the needs of these children in the summertime. So thank you for the great work that you do. I really am looking forward to see these signs plastered around the city here. And when I visit other parts of the country, I invariably talk about the really important work that is done here at this food bank. You know, food banks are not only distribution centers, very importantly, and places to provide access to food for pantries and emergency shelters and emergency supper venues across regions, but they're increasingly organizing centers. And this is a great example of that, where it brings all of you together, not only representing yourselves, but typically many organizations are represented in this group here today. So I thank Sherrie and her colleagues, everybody who supports the Hunger Task Force, but thank all of you for being part of this again. I wanted to say on a beautiful sunny summer day, we're not quite there yet, it's coming. Yeah. Thank you all.
introduce Ollice Holden. Ollice is the regional director of the USDA, which means he's responsible for the 5 states in the Midwest region. Ollice has been a huge advocate and help for the Hunger Task Force and for Milwaukee-based school programs over the years that he's worked for the USDA. He's a fabulous guy and a great advocate for children.
Good morning. I'm so pleased to see so many of you here. This is a repeat of a number of years that we've done this, and I would like to say how much I appreciate what you do and how well you do it. This collaboration that we have here is unique, and none other across the nation is like it. We're always talking about Milwaukee, the Milwaukee collaboration, how public, private, as well as corporate partners do things that are not done in any other place. In many places, it's just private funding that comes through the organization that they raise themselves. They don't have a large corporation. They don't have as much support from the state and county officials. This organization has done a tremendous job over the last several years and lead the nation in the number of meals that are served. In this region, last year, our production of summer meals increased by 15% over the previous year. And much of it was to the credit of the hard work that is done here in Milwaukee. So again, thank you very much for the help that you give us. Thank you very much for your effort. We wouldn't be successful without you. Thank you.
We have another friend here today as well, Les Blankenship. Les is from the Coca-Cola company. A bunch of years ago, we had a problem. We couldn't provide supper. We didn't have the money for it, but we could provide a snack. And in our park settings, a lot of the children were getting a single carton of milk, and milk isn't the tastiest or most thirst-quenching drink in the middle of summer. And Les came to our aid and donated literally truckload after truckload of vitamin water, and the kids loved it. Some of you guys probably had one this morning. I see some in your hands. Thank you, Les, for the vitamin water. We wanted him to get recognized today.
We've had a really great relationship with the Hunger Task Force and the staff of the Hunger Task Force over the past few years, and my hat's off to Sherrie and the job that this group does year after year after year, and we are happy to be a part of that. On behalf of the Milwaukee organization here, we thank you for your support, and we are happy to be a small part of that. Thank you.
Time to get to work, okay? Y'all got some routes, right? We're going to deliver these signs. They're Spanish and English, correct? We have these metal things, and they go inside of the signs. They don't go in your eye, all right? These are kind of dangerous to begin with, but we're going to go out to schools, and some of the schools it's going to be really obvious where to put the signs, and some of the schools it's going to be not so obvious. Some schools have fences, some have front doors, some have multiple doors. So when you get to your school, have a look around. Try to find the primary entrance. Ask the staff there, where are the kids going to be entering for the summer meals program? We're going to try to get the signs in really obvious places. We've seen lots of political yard signs lately. So we know that these signs work, and we actually are giving you 6 signs per school. So we want them in obvious places, out on the street, in places where moms driving by will see them. Because the message that we're giving to the news today is, look for this sign and walk in that building and get a free summer meal. We also have carved little holes in the signs, and we're going to give you zip ties. Because some schools have fences, and the fence is the primary place to put the signs. So we're going to let you guys use your judgment. You've all been mapped and routed, so you know where you're going to go. Do you all have your route number? Look down at your piece of paper and know your route number. Michael Jonas, where are you?
Right here.
Michael Jonas is going to be standing by that fence post over there. So as you guys walk out, get into your cars and drive through, he's going to assign you based on your route number a box full of signs. And so some cars will pull up here, some cars will pull up over there, and then finally near the end. And that way we'll hopefully get all the signs in your cars really quickly and nobody will get poked in the eye by one of the metal things. Okay? Are we ready to do this? I want to thank everyone that has been part of the partnership all of these years. If it wasn't for MPS, West Dallas, West Milwaukee Schools, Cudahy and South Milwaukee Schools, the Boys and Girls Club, the Milwaukee Center for Independence, the Salvation Army, the Social Development Commission, the Park Local Days, and the Woodlands, we would not be providing these meals. So thank you people for all your hard work. And we now know that we're going to serve at least 112,000 suppers thanks to Kohl's department store. So everyone in purple, thank you very, very much. All right, people, go get in your cars and come around.